Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, Jerusalem psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology post for Rosh Hashana is going to discuss authority, because a seminal component of Rosh Hashana is Malchus, sovereignty, as Rosh Hashana is the coronation of Hashem, where we appreciate the sovereignty of Hashem in the world. And although today there is still the concept of a royal family and royalty, the royal family is not necessarily associated with authority and leadership. That's more connected with previous generations, with past times. So what does Malchus mean to us today? I think if we look at Rosh Hashana and we appreciate the fact that we have a day which is the sovereignty of Hashem, we start to understand the role of authority in relationships, starting with the relationship between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Bnei Yisrael, the relationship of authority between us that Hashem has over us. This then has a knock-on effect on other relationships that we have in our life. So for example, there's the relationship of a parent and a child, and we have the mitzvah of Kibud Av V'Em. So therefore we start to appreciate what the role of authority within this relationship. And similarly, there's the relationship of a teacher, a Rav, with a student. And Pirkei Avos teaches us Aseh Lecha Rav. So again, we start to understand the role of authority within that relationship. So Rosh Hashanah creates this structure of authority within relationships, starting with Hashem and then following through to other relationships that we have in our life. But what is the significance and what is the implications of this authority within the relationship? Because if we look at the traditional psychological experiments on authority, we get this impression of authority creating fear and obedience and conformity. We have the infamous experiments of Stanley Milgram and Philip Zimbardo. Stanley Milgram he conducted an experiment where the experimenter told the participant to give electric shocks to another person, and the person believed that these electric shocks were actually genuine, and the person conformed, he was obedient, he listened to the experimenter. And Philip Zimbardo had the Stanford prison experiment, where the participants, who were students, were assigned to the role of prison guard or prisoner. And very quickly their behavior changed. They conformed to these roles. Their behavior meant that the prison guards started to produce behavior of authority, and the students who were the prisoners quickly became obedient and listened out of fear to these students who were the prison guards. So it seems to be that these experiments give the impression of authority creating fear and obedience. And indeed, there's a story of a psychologist going to Rav Soloveitchik and saying, why on the Yom Noraim is the concept of Yiras Hashem accentuated? What Yira, anxiety, in my professional world is something that I try to reduce. So why is it something that is promoted on the Yom Noraim? And Rav Soloveitchik said that anxiety and Yira, fear, is maladaptive and unhealthy in all forms except Yiras Hashem. And this is because Yiras Hashem is an authority based on respect and appreciation and gratitude. And in fact, in more recent psychological experiments, and the research has shown that authority is actually, the understanding of authority is moving over to this understanding, this appreciation of authority being motivated by gratitude and respect. Within society, we see that authority creates a societal structure of order and respect and cooperation. And within families, the research has shown that authority reduces the level of conflict between members of the family members. So I think this is the significance of Malchus. Malchus is a day which creates an appreciation for authority, where we understand authority is based on love, based on respect, based on gratitude. And this is the relationship that we have with Hashem. And this then trickles on to other relationships that we have in our life, and has an influence on the world in general, creating a world which is stable, which is successful and functional and cooperative. Have a great Shabbos, Shana Tova and Ksiva v'Chesima Tova.